This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Always good to get an undisputed champion back on IFL. Of course, I've got Mr. Josh Taylor with me. Well, it's on 18th December. Finally, we get you and Jack Catterall live on Sky Sports, Top Rank show, of course. Josh, you must be delighted.
Yeah, obviously excited to be back on home shores again, and back in Glasgow again, my second home at the Hydro. Haven't been there for a couple of years. The last time I was there was when I won the world title against Baranchek. So that was in 2019. So it's been a wee bit of a while since I've been back home and boxed, So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back on home shores and getting all the fans for the UK and sort of Scotland versus England kind of match, So it's gonna be a great show. It's gonna be amazing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm buzzing, that I'm finally on the platform that I deserve, with being on Sky, having the machine of Sky at the back of me and promoting my fights and getting my profile raised and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm buzzing, mate, buzzing.
Yeah, let's talk about that firstly, because there was a lot of noise around the Ramirez fight where a major UK broadcaster didn't pick it up, of course. And we know Sky are going to make some big signings today as well. But I think it's fair to say, in terms of the people fighting on Sky Sports currently, you're the biggest name on that. You're going to kind of lead this charge in terms of a UK perspective, especially, Josh. So you must be thrilled about that finally you're getting the platform you deserve. Yeah,
I think it was brilliant. And I think it's came along at the perfect time in my career. I'm now at the stage in my career. It's sort of, I'm not going to say the final chapter because I'm nowhere near finished, but kind of the last chapter in my career. This is the sort of third leg of my career where I'm going to be involved in massive fights. Obviously, given that I get through Jack Catterall on the 18th of December, I'm then on the precipice of huge fights, legacy fights, and I've got Sky at the back of me to be punting it and putting my name out there and become a huge star. And although I'm not interested in becoming a star, but it's great that I finally get the back in and people can see my fights and the wider public now, so I'm absolutely buzzing.
Definitely. You mentioned about coming home. Obviously, your fans have had some great nights with you in Scotland, but this time they get to see all the belts on the line. You bring them back home. And as you said, it's going to be an all-British clash, an undisputed clash. This is an historic and special occasion, and one we should treasure at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's a massive fight. It's obviously the belts are on the line. Jack Catterall did a good thing for me and stepping aside and letting me fight Ramirez first and let that fight happen. But obviously there was a wee bit of method behind his madness. He stepped aside, knowing full well that whatever the winner, he's going to get the shot at all the belts rather than getting a fight at Ramirez for the WBO. So he's getting a shot at all the belts now. So I think he knew that was the best move at the time for him. So yeah, but having said that, he agreed to step aside and let me have my fight. So I'm like to honour my word, which I am, and giving him his chance to come ahead and have a go. So yeah, it's good. It's going to be a great fight.
I know Ben and the boys down at MTK Performance Centre prepare you for each individual fight, as they will do with Jack Kettle. Have you had any discussions yet with Ben and the guys about perhaps what Jack brings that might pose a threat in terms of his strengths? How do you assess Jack?
We've spoke about him at length. We knew this was going to be the next fight, so we've already started breaking him down, and I've got a good idea. I've watched Jack a lot of the times coming through the ranks and that as well, and I knew that it could be a potential fight soon. And I've always known that I've got the beating of him. Obviously I have to prove it on the 18th of December, but I've got absolutely no doubts that I can win that fight. Things I see in his game that I can exploit as well. But having said that, he's a very, very good fighter. He's 26-0. He's beat everyone that's been put in front of him, and he is very, very skillful fighter. He's very clever, very clever.
But you believe that you can put another statement performance on in front of your own fans and stop Jack Catterall December 18th?
Yeah, listen, I'm not big on looking for a stoppage or anything. If it comes, it comes. But I just believe 100% I'm winning this fight. I believe I'm on a real good roll at the minute. I'm on good momentum. I'm on good form. So yeah, I believe it's going to take a real special fighter to beat me at the minute. Either that, or if I have an off night. If I have a real off night. But I can't see it happening. I can't see it happening.
Josh, you look well, in good shape as well. Obviously, you had a bit of partying to do after the undisputed win, but looks like you're back in the gym now.
Yeah, I'm back in the gym. Been back in the gym for a couple of weeks. Getting ticking over and getting myself back into shape. I've done a little bits and bobs throughout. Obviously, celebrating and taking time off through doing all the media stuff and that as well. But yeah, I've been ticking over and keeping myself in decent shape. But now it's now the fights come around and we know what's happening. The mentality's changing, and I'm straight back to the gym and right back into it full pelt. So yeah, balls deep as we're saying.
Do you believe this is going to be your last fight at 140?
No, I don't think so. I think I can be a career 140 pounder. But I do want to go up to. I've proved that I'm the best, and by winning all the belts in the division. So I want to go up to 147 and challenge for a couple of big fights up there, and then maybe come back down and defend my belts, and maybe fluctuate between the two weights. I can make 140 no problem. There's big fights at 140 and there's big fights at 147. So in and around the two divisions, there's massive fights.
Apparently, no one knows you at 147, though, do they?
Yeah, well, they soon will in a wee while.
Well, I do want to ask you about that, Josh. Obviously, on Pacquiao-Ugas fight week, Freddie Roach made some comments that went viral across the internet, and I know you responded to it as well. What did you make of his comments, and who's Josh Taylor?
Listen, I think it was kind of just tongue in cheek and stuff. Obviously I put out the tweet as well. It was a little bit sort of, there was no need for it. There was no need for saying that, but at the same time, he gets put out a question which has nothing to do with the fight or nothing to do with Pacquiao at the time. So it's sort of just, he just responded to a question that was completely off topic. So yeah, I don't take anything from it. I'm not offended or anything like that. It takes a lot to offend me. You need to try a lot harder than that to hurt my feelings. So no, I don't take anything from it. It's just Freddie Roach saying something on camera. I don't think it meant anything by it.
So no ill feelings towards Freddie?
No, none at all. None at all. None at all.
Okay. I know you've been a real long-time fan of Manny Pacquiao, and that is a fight that, you said would be a dream fight one day. After that loss, do you think he'll fight again, Manny?
Well, I don't know. He's talking about fighting again. Me personally, I think I like to see him hang it up. He kind of looked a little bit off the pace and not on his usual bouncy self, and things like that. I think he's still he's still a very, very dangerous fighter and still very good and one of the best and still at the top of the game, kinda. But he just looked a little bit off the pace and a little bit old. Which was, for me, it was quite hard to see. Manny Pacquiao, even a couple of years ago, I think would have taken care of Ugas with no problems.
Josh, of course, another fight you've been linked with is Terence Crawford. It looks like that fight with Sean Porter will happen, Terence and Sean. How do you see that as a matchup? And do you see Terence coming out on top still?
I think it's a great fight. I think Porter gives everybody a tough night, no matter who you are. Just with his all-out fighting aggression style, he gets right in your face. But you can weather the storm with Porter. I think you can weather the storm with him. You can quite easily outbox him. I've did a few sparring sessions with him when I was a couple of years ago out in Vegas, and that's what I've taken from it. When you can box him, you can quite easily outmaneuver him and sort of outbox him. He's quite easily outboxed, but when he makes it physical, it's quite tough.
But that's got to be surely in your plans, perhaps after Jack Catterall, all being well, December 18th, the winner of that fight between Crawford and Porter.
I would love it. I would love to fight any of these guys. They're all massive names and big fights. Big money fights and big legacy fights as well. So yeah, I would love to fight any one of these guys, and I fancy my chances against every single one of them. I think I can beat them all. So yeah, I think I think these are all winnable fights, you know, against Terence Crawford and your Sean Porters and things like that. They're all winnable fights for me.
Okay, Josh Taylor, appreciate your time on IFL as always. Best of luck December 18th against Jack Catterall, headlining on Sky Sports. Is there anything you'd like to add to your fans before we close off, Josh?
No, just you know, I'm buzzing to be back home, you know. So get your tickets and come see me fighting, and it's going to be a great night. It's going to be quite a tough fight, I think. You know, I'm expecting a tough fight against Jack Catterall. He's a very good fighter, and it's the old Scotland versus England, the old enemy thing. So it's going to be a great night. It's going to be a great fight, and it's going to be a great event. So I look forward to seeing you all there. And thanks for the continued support. You know, it's been amazing.
That's the one. Well, I'm sure I'll speak to you down in Harlow sometime soon. But for now, take care and all the best, Josh. All right. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, man.